was I calling out Xiaoma, NYC, and even Paddy in a recent clip that I did when I entitled it Asian Chick Orders Hamburger in Perfect English, literally shocks McDonald's employees. Now, that clip was done to try and continue a dialogue. I'd like to say before I get into this that I totally respect Paddy. I totally respect Xiaoma. But I want to explain where I was coming from because, oh my God, in YouTube over the past week and in other discussion forums and on Facebook and different things like that, I've met the YouTube troll world. And while there were some people that agree with me and they were asking me, are you meaning that this was targeted Xiaoma or was this targeted this particular YouTuber? It was actually just a general statement, a general discussion topic. And other people were saying, oh, you're such a hypocrite. You've put clips out like this before too.
สบายดีหรือเปล่าคะ
สบายดีค่ะ
ชื่ออะไรครับ
ชื่ออลิสค่ะ
ชื่อ Alice แล้ว Alice กี่ขวบนะ
5 ขวบ
5 ขวบ How old are you?
5
5 How do you say 5 in Russian?
8
แล้ว Alice เรียนพูดไทยได้เลยใช่ไหมครับ
พูดไทยได้ค่ะ
แล้วพูดภาษาอะไรได้อีก
พูดอังกฤษได้แล้วก็ภาษาไทย
ครับชื่ออะไรครับ
อิหร่านครับ
อิหร่านครับแล้วเป็นคนที่ไหนครับ
อเมริกาครับก็มีเพื่อนเป็นคนไทยก็พูดไทยบ่อยๆก็มันจะพูดไทยคล่องกว่าอะไรอย่างนั้นถ้าแบบอยู่กับเด็กฝรั่งจะพูดไทยไม่เป็น
But there's another twist 你也会讲国语吧会哇厉害那你在哪里学的中文
我在学校学中文
学校
然后我是中国
在中国
在中国
哦不是在泰国学中文
我在中国住了一个月然后
就一个月而已那你的中文讲得那么好
And then other people are saying, oh, you just went and stuck a knife in Paddy's back. And he said, you're something to extent of. You're such an asshole. Why did you do this? You go and do something to help Paddy with your analysis last week.
Title with Paddy
รายการ it's รายการ and
Gan title
you can even see here on the tone curve รายการ should be รายการ okay
with Paddy คุณพูดภาษาไทยมานานแค่ไหนครับจำได้
คุณพูดภาษาไทย you can start to hear it kick in here that you get this hyperglottalization. And then you stick a knife in his back saying something like this. Wait, stop. Okay, I realize I'm in YouTube land, but my intention for putting that clip out last week was to continue a dialogue. And this is a beautiful thing about being an adult. We can actually have the same thoughts on some things. We can have different thoughts on other things. We could have ourselves one thought one day, start to think and process those thoughts and start to shift the way that we think. And so I would like this to be a continuation of a dialogue because I've been on this YouTube dialogue since 2007 and I get it. So let's start with Xiaoma, NYC. Xiaoma is not an idiot. And I totally get it. And you could, if you've listened to the clip done with Matt versus Japan and Xiaoma, where he talks about his YouTube creator version.
Like Laoshu style, because you've seen those videos where like the foreigners I'd seen a series where it was like these foreigners pranking people with Koreans with like perfect Korean, and those videos I'd seen those videos a while back. It was just like a bunch of foreigners in Korea speaking like perfect Korean. And I was like, that's like, I could do this with Chinese. So I went out with Dave and we made this video where I was just like walking around Chinatown, speaking to people in Chinese and didn't even really get that cool reactions. I was like, all right, I'll post it. So I posted it, and the title was just like, white guy speaks like perfect Chinese in Chinatown, obviously, or whatever. Right, but I was like, all right, it's a crappy video, nobody has any reactions, it's like so stupid. I was also like, who is gonna care? I was just walking around in Chinatown like buying vegetables in Chinese, like I was like, oh, big deal, right? I was like, I do this every day, it's like not a big deal, whatever. Right, so I posted that video, and then, as I predicted, it didn't do well, so I was like, all right, great. Then like 3 weeks later, it all of a sudden starts getting like hundreds of thousands of views. I'm like, huh, okay, maybe there's some interest there. And then like another week, it's like another 1 million views. I'm like, oh, wow, like, okay, is this for real? And then like another week goes by, it just millions and millions of views. I'm like, oh, huh, okay. For some reason, I guess people find this interesting.
And bang! So the American audience was looking for that kind of thing. That's what fed the audience, and I totally get it. So, and who blames him? Look at all the subscribers he gets, look at the views he gets, and I'm sure he's making some great coin with all of that. I think where my clip was driven from last week and by the way, that was my wife in the picture. So many people messaged me and said, I've watched through 6 minutes of the clip and I still haven't seen this lady, or they saw, I still haven't seen your wife order a hamburger. That was the point. But anyway, maybe I'll have to get her to order a hamburger just to satisfy those people who wanted to see her order a hamburger in perfect English. But getting back to it, I wanted to continue the discussion because whether it's Paddy, whether it's Xiaoma, whether it's all these guys saying speaks perfect Chinese, speaks perfect Punjabi. This one just came up in my thread yesterday with perfect Punjabi, and they know it's not perfect. But they're just giving the audience what they want. And this, I guess, is my desperation. And this is where I want to continue the conversation. Because in my world, I live in a world here. I live in Thailand. My life is in Asia, China, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, right across this part of the world. And in the work that I do, it is in my interest to not have people shocked when I speak the language. If I go to a networking event and I'm speaking with people, I just want to go and speak to people and have them speak back to me and not be shocked and focus on that. I have some foreign friends here, and I've been in the experience where they will drag you, say in an event or at a meeting, and they'll say, oh, come and meet Stu, or they call me Jay, come and meet Jay, come and meet Jay. He speaks perfect Thai, come and try him out. And I'm thinking, oh, just get away from me, please. Because my value, whether I go into a company and am able to speak with employees on the ground and them just speak to the heart, from the heart to me, or I can go in anywhere, or even acting as an interpreter. My value is in being able to just speak normally, speak about normal stuff with native speakers of the language and have them respond to me, and then take that stuff and package it in a way where I can communicate it in native speaker English, say, to native speakers of English, and bridge that gap there. Because as soon as you've got this foreign tagging or people being shocked, they're going to speak to you in a different way. And it's true. They're only really shocked because of two things. One, because your language isn't good enough to come across as native. Because if it does come across as native with native prosody and everything, people won't react. They'll just speak to you normally and life goes on. It just happened. 7-Eleven. I went downstairs. I went to 7-Eleven. I bought my coffee. I went in and it was totally non-eventful. Spoke to them. They spoke back to me and I came up here to record this clip. No reaction to me speaking language at all. So that's one case when they're going to react. Another case is when, of course, if you're going to speak to somebody, whether it's here in Asia or in New York City or in Sydney, and originally you're speaking in English and you're pretending that you don't speak the language and they start speaking to you, and then bang, you start speaking the language, of course they're going to be surprised. And as you heard XiaomaNYC was saying, that the American audiences love this and they relate to this. And so you can even see on that clip, that actually got an abnormal amount of views compared to other clips that have gone out. So I totally get it, but I would like to shift the discussion and shift the mindset, just as it's done over many years. Can we get to a place, even in the West, where this sort of stuff doesn't shock? Where other things will blow people away. When somebody can just sit down and have a heart-to-heart, like if I go in onto an oil and gas rig offshore, or if I go to a mine, they might be doing a mine somewhere in Asia, in Southeast Asia, or building a dam, and I go on site and I just go down and speak, and you can hear from the heart these people speaking as though they would be speaking to one of their own. That is mind-blowing. I would love the world to be at a point where they see that kind of stuff mind-blowing rather than just these stunts where people go out for the shock reactions. But I understand also YouTube rewards self-censorship, and YouTube rewards superlative, exaggerated, clickbaity titles because that's what gets views. If you want to work against that algorithm and you really want some other stuff or this narrative to move in another direction, click subscribe down below, and I promise you that I'll try and avoid these kinds of superlative, exaggerated, perfect Chinese kinds of videos and get into other stuff. So click subscribe down there. We really want to grow this and get the message out, and I want people to get to a point with their language where they can too just start a conversation and have a conversation without saying somebody will, wow, 你的中文好标准, your Chinese is so wonderful, 哇, พูดเก่งมาก, 哇, ดูภาษาเนี่ย bagus banget, you know, your language, your Indonesian, your Thai, your Chinese is so good. You just be able to speak, and people will be blown away from the content that comes back from the speakers of that language rather than just the shock reaction of people down on the street. So XiaomaNYC, I know you are a switched on guy. You have your reasons for doing this, which you spelt out. You're not stupid in doing that, and you're giving the market what it wants. I get that. Paddy, let's get on to that. Now, Paddy is an awesome guy, and I praise Paddy because he, unlike many people out there, opened himself up to be critiqued. And when I did this critique on him, I went and I got the spectrograph, and I did a full-blown critique, like on analysis on his Thai, like I would have done with somebody from the military, US, Australian military, or somebody who really needed to get their language on point. And we analyzed it. If you haven't seen that clip, check it out, because I think there's something in there, not just for people learning Thai, but for people learning any language, about how you can shift your throat and your mouth and things to sound more or less foreign when you're speaking a new language. But with Paddy, he was awesome because he opened himself up to that, which very few people would do, and he's got so many public specimens of his language. So to do that, and people have been sending messages in, yes, I have this issue, and it helped me so much. So I'm so grateful to Paddy, and I'm so grateful that that clip has helped you, and I hope that you'll be able to shift on that journey and start tuning your ears and your mouth into this. This is where I want it to go. Again, click subscribe down below if this is the direction that you would like to see YouTube and the world heading. I just want to be in a world where this stuff isn't shocking. I guess it's all there, and you're giving, like what XiaomaNYC said, you're giving the audience what they want. Great. How can we shift the market, though, in a way where what they want is actually something with more substance as well? That's my say. I don't know if it's going to happen in my lifetime even, but I hope it's going to happen, and I'm just going to do my little part to try and push it in that direction. So if you like this, subscribe down below, come to our Discord server, because it's growing. It's just going off the charts now. We've got every language: Chinese, Thai, Japanese, or any language. If the language that you're learning isn't there, tell me, I'll add it in there. And we've got all these other mind topics: music, computers, terminal, open source, intelligence gathering, everything just to celebrate the brain, celebrate communication, even Morse code and radio. We've got them there. So come into the Discord server. You can click on the QR code and just join this Mindkraft journey and be part of it. And who knows, maybe we can shift the YouTube conscious in the West also. So clickbaity titles like this don't need to be done anymore, and we can actually start to get people excited and get millions and millions of views with clips with much more substance than this. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Stuart J. Raj, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.